Check, check. Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to Mississinewa High School for today's volleyball contest between the Pendleton Heights Arabians and your Mississinewa Lady Indians. Today's JV contest, your Lady Indians lead 8-5 here early. Lexi Cruzen back to serve. As you can tell by watching, it is a pink out here tonight. Number 11, J.C. White checks into the lineup, replacing the libero, number 3, Tyra Stanley. J.C. White, Riley McKee, Ireland Thien, Jenna Berryhill, Lexi Cruzen, and Haley Herring on the court for your Lady Indians. Herring's going to serve the ball over the net, and it's going to be a point, Lady Indians. 9-6 here in the first set. Herring set to serve again. Ball's going to be called out. And a point again to your Lady Indians. Sorry, it was not 9-6, it was 10-6. Now it's 11-6 for the Lady Indians. (12-6), Lady Indians now 13-6. Some miscommunication on the Lady Arabian team. (13-6). Herring's going to serve the ball over the net. Here's a dig by Cruzen. McKee's going to... Ball was blocked by McKee, and Thien gives the Lady Indians a 14-6 lead. Timeout, Pendleton Heights. 14-6. We'll step aside for a 1-minute timeout and come back. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Back at Mississinewa High School, 14-6, Lady Indians lead here in the opening set of the JV contest with the varsity contest to follow. It's been a good season so far for the Lady Indians. They've been very successful here in 2017. Sectionals getting ready to begin here in about 2 weeks. We will have that coverage for you here on the Tribe Sports Network, each individual volleyball game. Tyra Stanley is going to return to the lineup for the Lady Indians. She is the libero. 14-7. Lady Indians lead the JV contest. The Arabians back to serve. We're working on getting some names and numbers on these Lady Arabian players. That way we can be able to let you know who they are and a point to the Arabians on that play. 14-8. Arabians trying to chip their way back into this ball game here in tonight's pink out. Ball's going to be set by McKee, and they're going to say that I think it was number 5, Lexi Cruzen. I think they said she hit the ball twice. Only allowed to hit it once. They said Cruzen hit it twice. 14-9. Here's McKee with a dig. White's going to try to spike it over the net, and it goes out of bounds. 14-10. Volleyball is how basketball can be. It's a game of runs. Whatever team goes on the biggest run normally is the team that comes out on top of each set. Some miscommunications here so far for the Lady Indians. 14-11. The Arabians are chipping away at the Lady Indian lead. (14-12). Coach Heather Swartz getting a little bit worried here on the Lady Indians sideline. McKee with a spike over the net. Pendleton Heights looked a little bit confused there. Now here's Cruzen. Barry Hill's going to set. McKee's going to spike it over the net. Here's a dig by an Arabian. Set by Stanley. Now Barry Hill sets it, and J.C. White's going to spike it over the net. So far, so good here for the Lady Indians as they lead early, 15-12. Katie Hosier going to serve the ball for the Lady Indians. Still don't have names for the Lady Arabians. We'll try to get that sorted out for the varsity game at least. McKee is going to set it over the net for a Lady Indian point. 17-12 here in the first set. And Katie Hosier set to go back and serve once again. Serve was like a high rainbow going across the net that time. Here's a dig by Cruzen. It's going to be set by Hosier and a spike. And it's in. Riley McKee with a spike and a point. 18-12. That ball was perfectly placed in the far right corner. Hosier with the serve. The Lady Arabians trying to get it. Here's a dig by Cruzen and a set by Hosier. A spike again by McKee. This time it's hit by a Lady Arabian player, but it doesn't go across the net. 19-12, another point for your Lady Indians. Again, as I was talking about a little bit earlier, it's like a game of runs. Mississinewa will go on a run and score 5 or 6 straight, and then the Lady Arabians will come right back at them. Here's a set by Hosier and then tip over the net by J.C. White. White and Barry Hill go up to block it. And they are successful, 20-12. A line drive served by Hosier. A nice save there by Cruzen. And McKee spiked it over the net and it was saved. And the ball just falls right over the net. It's a Lady Arabian point. That play was kind of weird. McKee spiked the ball and then it was blocked. And then the Lady Arabians kind of tipped it back and forth, and it finally went over the net. And then it just landed right in the middle of about 3 or 4 Lady Indians. 20-13 here in the opening set of the JV contest. McKee spikes it. Lady Arabians trying to get it over the net, and it's spiked. And another Lady Arabian point. Stanley with the dig. White's going to tip it over the net. The Lady Arabians with a spike and a dig by Cruzen. Now Hosier's gonna set it to Berryhill, and she gets it over the net. Here's another spike by the Lady Arabians. Here's Katie Hosier, and a spike by McKee. Good rebound by the Lady Arabians. Berryhill with a spike, goes out of bounds. Lady Arabians with the point. 20-15 here in the opening set of the JV contest. Here's a dig by Stanley. McKee gets it over the net to the Lady Arabians. Hosier with a set to Stanley, and J.C. White's going to knock it over the net. And it's going to be a point to the Lady Indians, 21-15. Lady Indians with the lead. And a substitution. Number 8, Daryl Watson, is going to come in and replace number 5, Alexi Cruzen. Riley McKee back to serve for the Lady Indians. McKee's going to serve it over the net. It's going to go out of bounds. It's Lady Arabian with the point. 24-16. One more point for the Lady Indians, and they will win the opening set. Still don't have any numbers for the Lady Arabians or any names. Watson with a spike, and it's good. 25-16. Lady Indians win the first set. We're going to step aside for 2 minutes and come back with the second set. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Test, test. Test, 1, 2. Test, test. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. Your Lady Indians win the first set over the Lady Arabians, 25-16. Andrea Abbott's going to join me now, and she played volleyball all the way through middle school in her first 2 years of high school. She's a junior now. She went to the doctor, and the doctors told her she wasn't able to play. She has some shoulder issues. And Andrea, it's good to have you. And what do you think about the Lady Indians there in that opening set?
You know, the Lady Indians have improved a lot since the beginning of the season. They've had a lot of team communication the first set, and I'm excited to see what they have in store for the second set.
Yep, definitely. So we're getting ready to see what's in store here in the second set, and we'll take another 30-second timeout and come back with the second set. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah, me and Josh Friday. And then for volleyball, it's going to be me and Andrea. Because Andrea's got it. Dude, it's over. Like, she's got it on lock now. Take that seat from her. You can take that seat. She said, hey, give me that seat. I'm going to turn you up your bass so your voice is deeper. Underway here in the second set. Ball served. Here's Thien with a spike across the other side of the net. And let's see, I think it's a Lady Indian point. It is. 1-0. Lady Indians with the early lead here in the second set. And Katie Hosier is going to check in and replace Ireland Thien. Hosier back to serve. I think she had 6 aces in the Madison Grant game. 6 aces right in a row, where the ball just went across and dropped dead center in between the Lady Argyles. And they just kind of looked around in confusion as to see what happened. And they seemed really confused, and Madison Grant took a timeout. Lady Arabians communicating good here. Here's a set by Hosier and a spike by Casey Sands. Ball looked like it was going to go out, and the Lady Arabians may have just did the Lady Indians a favor. Here's a spike by Berryhill. Again, we're going to try to get names for the varsity. Here's Stanley. Lady Arabians get it over the net, but it's on the opposite side of the net. And Andrea, I'm not quite sure the term of that with the little red and white bar standing up. Is that like an out-of-bounds line?
Yeah, if you can't hit the ball going, like, you can't hit that pole or on the left side of it.
So if you hit that, then it's considered out of bounds?
Yes.
All righty. You got Andrea up here. You know, she's just the person you need, somebody that's played volleyball and knows the game, with a guy up here that doesn't know anything about volleyball, just trying to learn. So it's good to have her up here and get her insight on some things. Of course, she played in high school, so she understands the game, but her shoulder's a little bit out of whack to where she can't play. Berryhill with a tip over the net and a score. 4-1 Lady Indians. As we saw in the first set, the Lady Indians got up early, and then the Lady Arabians came chipping right back at the Lady Indians. Cut the lead to within 3, and then the Lady Indians took control. Stanley with a dig and a set by McKee and a spike by Watson, but it's into the net, and the Lady Arabians are going to get their second point here in the second set.
Katie Hosier, she's a freshman. She's really good at setting the volleyball. When I played, number 3, Tyra Stanley, who is a libero now, was our setter. But since Katie Hosier came up, she's the setter now, and she's doing a really good job as a freshman setting for the JV team.
Future is bright for the Lady Indians. You got Kinsey Skeens, who does an amazing job on the varsity team of setting the ball. And, you know, she just does a fantastic job. And then you got Katie Hosier behind her. So I'm sure Kinsey and Katie work a lot in practice, and Katie Hosier is going to be just as good as Kinsey Skeens. Here's a spike and a goal for the Lady Arabians. I think that just tied it up at 4. Here's a serve across the net. McKee's going to get the dig, and a little bit of confusion there on the Lady Indians side of the court. They just kind of looked around after the ball was hit in the air by McKee, and Watson finally solved it at the last minute, but it was too late. 5-4 Lady Arabians with their first lead here in the second set. Berryhill with a spike over the net. A dig by the Lady Arabians. And a spike. Stanley calls it. Berryhill, the tip over the net and a point for the Lady Indians, 5-5. Haley Herring going to check in and replace Casey Sands. And Tyra Stanley is going to go back for the Lady Indians to serve. Here's a spike by the Lady Arabians, a dig by Hosier. A tip over the net, but it was blocked, and the Lady Arabians get their 6th point. Mississinewa football is at home on Friday. They host Frankton for senior night. We'll have that coverage for you at 6:30 with the pregame. And the game will start at 7. There's a spike by the Lady Arabians and another Lady Arabian point. 7-5. And Andrea, from what I see from volleyball, it's kind of like a game of runs. You know, one team goes on a big run and then the other team goes right back.
Yeah, the Lady Indians right now are really struggling with communication. They aren't talking to each other very much, and that's why they're having this problem.
And Coach Heather Swartz has had enough. She's going to call a timeout. 8-5 Lady Arabians lead here early in the second set. We'll step aside for a 60-second timeout. This is Lady Indians volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Back here at Mississinewa High School, second set, and another Lady Arabian point. I'm going to use a baseball term, and a lot of them say hit it where they're not, and right now the Lady Arabians are serving it where they're not. 10-5. Lady Arabians lead. They were down early. Now they're coming right back and taking the lead and starting to stretch that lead. And as soon as I say that, Lady Arabians serve the ball right into the net. And Jenna Berryhill's going to go back to serve for the Lady Indians. Ireland Thien comes in to the lineup for the Lady Indians. She replaces Katie Hosier. Here's a spike by the Lady Arabians, and Daryl Watson's going to spike it, and it is out. 11-6. Lady Arabians with the lead here in the second set. They're going to try to take it to 3 sets here. But again, the Lady Indians could get down and then go on a big run and come right back. Here's a spike by Thien, and it's going to be a Lady Indians point. And Alexi Cruzen set to check in. She's going to replace Dara Watson. This Pendleton Heights volleyball team is one of the better teams that the Lady Indians have played so far in 2017. Cruzen with a serve, and it went into the net. And the ball is going to go back to the Lady Arabians with a 12-7 lead. Good communication there. Stanley calling it. There's a spike by the Lady Arabians. McKee with a spike over the net, and it goes out. And it's 13-7. Another Lady Indian timeout. 14-7 Lady Arabians. Back in 30 seconds on the Tribe Sports Network. Here's a serve by the Lady Arabians. Berryhill's going to get it over the net. Seth Kashanik to the rescue. Comes up and gives us a Lady Arabian roster. So now we got names for the Lady Arabians, and we're ready to go. Lady Indians with a point there. They're trying to chip away at the Lady Arabian lead. 14-9 here in the second set. Number 9, Haley Herring, back to serve the ball for the Lady Indians. Serve is like a line drive that just dropped right there at the end.
Haley Herring is really a great server. She's probably one of the best, I'd say, on our volleyball team. She's really strong. She has made a lot of aces, a lot of points off her serves.
Pretty unique, too. She's a lefty, so I saw earlier in the year, I was sitting with Luke Sellers. If any of you know who Luke Sellers is, he's a senior at Mississinewa High School here. And we were talking about her, and Haley hit the ball with her left hand, and Luke made a comment like, man, dude, she just did that with her left hand. And then a few minutes later, he said, wait a minute, is she left-handed? And I was like, yeah. So he was a little surprised that she was doing it left-handed, so it's unique that you have a left-handed volleyball player on your team, but Haley Herring definitely the player that you want. We have a number 1 on the junior varsity team that is listed on the varsity roster. I don't know if this is the girl's name, but the number 1 on the varsity roster is Claire Goodwin. Number 9, Katie Hosier, set to check back into the lineup for the Lady Indians, and she's going to go back to serve. 16-11, let's see if Hosier can bring the Lady Indians back. And her serve goes out. Let's hit a little bit long. 17-11. Good save there by McKee. Here's a spike by number 9, Lindsay Oswalt. And it was tipped by the Lady Indians, and the Lady Arabians have stretched their lead to 7. 18-11 here in set number 2. Lady Indians picked up the win in the first set, 25-16. Here's a dig by Cruzen and a set by Hosier and a spike by McKee. Tip over the net. Here's a set by Hosier and another spike by McKee, and it was blocked. Berryhill's going to tip it over the net. Point Lady Indians. That was number 4, Aubrey Helping. She tried to get it over the net. Ball just went straight up in the air, and she was like, well, I might as well just back out of the way because they're going to get the point anyway. Dara Watson into the lineup. McKee's going to serve. Here's a set and a spike by Oswalt. Berryhill with a spike. And the Lady Indians with another point. 18-13, a 5-point Lady Arabian lead. McKee with a serve. And an ace. 18-14 timeout. Pendleton Heights will step aside for a 60-second timeout. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Here's a spike by Watson. Here is McKee. Gets it over to Berryhill. She knocks it over the net. Here's a set by Hosier. And Watson's going to tip it over the net for a Lady Indian point. The Lady Indians have cut the lead to 2, 18-16. And again, there's the runs that I've been talking about. The Lady Indians were down by 7. Now they've cut it to 2. McKee with a serve, a line drive right at her. McKee with a set and a spike by Watson. Point Lady Arabians, 19-16. And here's a spike by Berryhill. McKee with a dig and a set by Hosier and a spike by Watson. McKee saves it again. Set by Hosier and another spike by Watson. This time it's blocked by the Lady Arabians. Berryhill, a set by Hosier and a spike by Berryhill and a Lady Indians point. 19-17. Haley Herring checking into the lineup for the Lady Indians. Tyra Stanley, the libero, goes back to serve. Here's a spike. And miscommunications by the Lady Arabians. And the Lady Indians lead, or the Lady Arabian lead, is down to 1. 19-18 and timeout, Lady Arabians. 19-18. Lady Indians trail by 1. We're back in 30 seconds on the Tribe Sports Network. Lindsay Oswalt back to serve for the Lady Arabians, 21-19. (22-19) Lady Arabians. Oswalt to serve again. Ball over the net. Here's a dig by Stanley and a set by Hosier. And a spike by Berryhill. And almost hits the ground. Nice save by the Lady Arabians. Here's a set, Hosier. Watson with a serve, and it's a high rainbow out of bounds. 23-19. Oswalt, line drive into the net. Lady Indians with an opportunity. Berryhill's going to serve. This is a perfect opportunity for the Lady Indians to try to get 5 straight points and win this second set. Berryhill with a serve. Watson with a set. Berryhill's going to tip it over the net. Miscommunications by the Lady Arabians. Now they get it back. Here's a dig by Stanley, set by Berryhill. And Herring's going to tip it into the net. And it's 24-20. Lady Arabians. Going to go back to serve is Aubrey Helpling, and she's going to try to get the game point. There's an ace by Helpling, and the final score in set number 2, 25-20, Lady Arabians win. We're back in 2 minutes with the third set. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network.
Here we are reporting live back at Mississinewa High School, finishing out the JV contest in the third quarter. The Lady Indians struggled last set to communicate, and it made them struggle. That's why they lost.
Yeah, big communication problems in that second set, and it's continuing here in the third set. I seen Darrell Watson clap her hands and look at her teammates and say, come on. Here's a serve, goes over the net. Here's a set by Berryhill and a spike by McKee. Pendleton Heights looks like they're ready to play here in the third set. And as soon as I say that, they prove me wrong, and it's 1-1, tied here in the third set. Katie Hosier checks into the lineup for Mississinewa. Two to 1. Lady Indians with the lead. If the Lady Indians can control the pace here early in the third set, I think they might be able to win it. McKee's going to set it over to Hosier, and a spike by Berryhill, and it's out. Tied at 2. Lady Indians with the point there, and McKee goes back to serve. Just a quick reminder here, the JV Grant 4 is tomorrow for the volleyball team. JV Grant 4 at Oak Hill. It starts at 5:30. So be sure and make the trip over to Oak Hill High School and support your JV Lady Indians as they battle in the Grant 4 contest. And here's a spike and a point by Berry Hill. Gives the Lady Indians a 3-point lead at 5-2 and an early timeout by the Pendleton Heights Lady Arabians. 5-2 Lady Indians lead here early in the third set. We're back in 1 minute on the Tribe Sports Network. Back at Mississinewa High School. Hosier's going to set it to Berry Hill, and she's going to spike it. And a little tip over the net by the Lady Arabians gets them their 3rd point of the set. Number 7, Aaliyah Rodney goes back. She's a freshman. She's going to go back and serve. J.C. White with a spike over the net. Five to 4. Pendleton Heights cuts the lead down to 1. Here's another serve by Rodney, goes over the net. Here's a set by Hosier and a spike by Watson, gets the Lady Indians their 6th point. Tyra Stanley back to serve. If you pay attention to the ball when they serve, some of the Lady Indian serves got a little bit of a spin to it, and some of them are just a knuckleball. Stanley lays it all out on the floor to save it there. And a tip over the net by Berry Hill is saved by Lady Arabian number 6, Jordan Benefell. Herring tips it over the net. Goodwin. Here's Berry Hill, the little tip over the net. It's in, and another point for the Lady Indians. Nice little smart play there by Berry Hill. She realized that there wasn't any Lady Arabians over there. She just tipped it over the net, and it drops in for their 7th point of the 3rd set for the Lady Indians. Good communication there by Tyra Stanley. She's let Haley Herring know the ball was going out. Herring got out of the way. And the 8th point for the Lady Indians. We got a timeout by Pendleton Heights, 8-4. Back in 30 seconds on the Tribe Sports Network. Eight to 5, Lady Arabians lead, and Lindsay Oswalt goes back to serve the ball for Pendleton Heights. Ball's on line drive right at McKee, and it's going to go out, and the Lady Arabians have got their 6th point. Oswald to serve again. See if this one's another line drive. It is, right at McKee, but McKee was expecting it that time. Here's a set by Hosier and tipped over the net by Herring. Berryhill's going to try to spike it. Gets a little piece of the net. Still goes over. Helpling hits it to Watson. Eight to 7. Lady Indians only lead by 1 here in the third set. Oswald to serve again. This one's a line drive at Stanley. No communication whatsoever from the Lady Indians. They're just looking at each other, hoping one of them hits it. Here's a set by Hosier, and a tip over the net by Berryhill. Almost falls, and a good save by Helpling. Here's a set. Helpling is going to just try to tip it over the net, and the ball goes out of bounds. Tie ball game at 8. Coach Heather Swartz has had enough here so far early. 8-8, timeout Mississinewa. We're back in 1 minute on the Tribe Sports Network. Oswald to serve. Here's McKee to Berryhill. And tipped over the net by Herring. And the Lady Indians, with their 9th point of the third set, Ireland Thien checks in to replace Katie Hosier. Ireland Thien, only a freshman, done a great job her freshman year. She also plays volleyball, or softball rather. And a serve into the net by Berryhill makes it 9-9. Here's Thien with a spike over the net, and the Lady Indians with their 10th point. Number 5, Alexi Cruzen, checks into the lineup. She's going to go back to serve. She's going to try to redeem herself here. After her last one, a line drive into the net. This one is an ace for Cruzen. 11-9. Cruzen serves it again. Here's Thien, tips it over the net. And this is the Lady Arabian point at 11-10. Third set. Lady Indians look a little bit better here in the third set. And Lady Arabians are answering everything the Lady Indians are throwing at them. Things are just going back and forth. Trying to get some professional scores for you at the baseball level, since the end of the baseball season is quickly approaching. You got playoffs coming here before too long. If you're a Cubs fan, the Chicago Cubs are in the playoffs once again, looking for back-to-back World Series. Lady Indians with a little bit of miscommunication there, and we got it tied at 11. This is number 11. She's the libero player, Cassidy Brandom. Herring with a spike. Cruzen's going to set it to Thien. She tips it over the net. McKee, Berryhill with a tip. Stanley lays it on the floor, and somehow, some way, the ball was set, and it landed perfectly in between Thien's arms as she was trying to tip it over the net. 12-11, timeout Mississinewa, back in 30 seconds on the Tribe Sports Network. Haley Herring set to serve. This was a little rainbow over the net. Berryhill with a set. McKee's going to spike it, and it's saved by Benefell. Spike and a dig by Herring. Tip over the net by Herring. Dig Berryhill, set over the net by McKee. She's going to go up to try to block it, and the ball is hit straight at Herring. And number 3, Tyra Stanley, checks back into the lineup. 13-12. This one's going to go down to the wire. I'm not positive if number 1 is Claire Goodwin, since we don't officially have a number 1 on the JV roster, but Claire Goodwin is number 1 on the varsity roster. Here's a set. A spike by Oswalt. He goes over the net. Benefell's going to spike it, and it's out. And it's tied at 13. Katie Hosier going to return to the lineup. She replaces Ireland Thien. And Hosier goes back to serve. She's going to try to bring the Lady Indians home to victory. Hosier with a serve. This is the 3rd hit. This one goes to Berryhill. Set. Spike by Berryhill. Into the stands. And a 14-13 Lady Indians lead. One more point and the Lady Indians will win the JV contest. Down to the final serve. Here is Hosier. Stanley. A set by Hosier. A little tip over the net by Berryhill. Saved by the Lady Arabians. Spiking into the net. The Lady Indians are going to win the 3rd set and win the match 15-13. Lady Indians win the JV match by a final of 2-1. They won the 1st set 25-16, dropped the 2nd set 25-20, and win the 3rd and final set at 15-13. We'll step aside for 2 minutes and come back with a varsity pregame. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Back at Mississinewa High School, where the JV Lady Indians come up with the victory in 3 sets, winning the first one 25-16, and losing the second one 25-20, and winning the third and final set at 15-13. Dara Watson joins me after the JV Lady Indians victory. Dara, a close one here tonight at Mississinewa. Was you a little bit worried after that second set when Pendelton Heights beat you guys?
Yeah, I was a little worried that we were going to lose, but I had faith in us, so it was okay, and we won. So
I saw you after one of those plays there early in the third set when you guys were down by 2. Kind of look over at your teammates and was like, "Come on, guys, we can't lose."
all right.
So, Dara, congratulations and best of luck to you at the Grant 4 tomorrow.
Thank you.
Lady Indians win the JV contest in 3 sets. We'll come back with varsity pregame in 60 seconds. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Back at Mississinewa High School, where the Mississinewa Indians win the JV contest again in 3 sets, winning 25-16 after the first one. Pendelton Heights then comes back and stuns the Lady Indians in the second set. They win that one 25-20, and then in the third set it went right down to the wire, where a Daryl Watson spike gave the Lady Indians a 14-13 lead. And then a ball that was hit over the net by Hosier and spiked into the net by a Lady Arabian gives the Lady Indians the 15-13 win, and they win the game. So now on to the varsity. The varsity is 20-5 here in 2017, coached by Miss Hope Coons. Lady Indians have played very well here so far in 2017, led by Hallie Plank. She's a junior. Plank has really stepped up from her sophomore year, gotten better since she's played volleyball all 3 years she's been in high school. She's a junior, improved each and every year, and has really stepped it up here her junior year. I know that she's hoping to probably go to play college volleyball somewhere. If not, she'll probably want to go play college basketball, but Hallie Plank has stepped up here in 2017. The Lady Indians drew Heritage yesterday for the sectional draw. Heritage was drawn for the Lady Indians, but the good news for the Lady Indians, it could also be bad news. They get a first round bye, so they're automatically in the second round. They will play Heritage. The bad news is with them having a bye, they could get a little bit out of rhythm, out of gameplay rhythm, and that could somewhat affect them. But the Lady Indians are in the second round. They will play Heritage next Saturday. This Thursday, October the 5th, the Lady Indians will play Frankton at Frankton. That is a 6 p.m. start for the JV, with the varsity to follow. We got about 11 minutes left, and we'll get this thing underway from Gas City. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Mississinewa High School. Before we get into the thick of things in the varsity contest for the volleyball team, we have head coach Brandon Forshee from the Mississinewa boys soccer team with us. Coach, your sectional is tomorrow. You play Marion, a very good Marion team. The sectional is at Oak Hill. What are some of the things that you look forward to as you move into sectionals and you play a very good Marion team?
Yeah, so we finished off the season strong, focusing with two really good conference opponents in Eastbrook and Oak Hill. Oak Hill runs a very similar offense to what we'll see out of Marion tomorrow with R.J. McComber up top. We had a strong practice yesterday, even better one today, focusing on shutting down the pass, shutting down the shot. We're ready. The season, we've played 7 ranked opponents throughout the season. That gets us ready for another ranked opponent tomorrow. They're going to come out tough, but our guys are ready to go strong.
Do you feel like playing teams like Eastbrook and Oak Hill that are dominant help you when you get to sectionals and you play a team like Marion?
Yeah, for sure. We've seen the speed now. We've seen the passing. We've seen the connection. We've got 160 minutes now of both playing game but also film to watch what they're going to do at us, and so we're ready to defend it, something we weren't ready to do last Monday when we played Eastbrook.
What are some of the things that you saw this season from your guys that you feel like are your strengths that are going to be your strengths against Marion, and some of the things that you might be worried about as you play Marion?
Yeah, resiliency. Resiliency is huge. Our guys, we've had a tough season with injury. We fought hard. I've loved seeing the overall effort. We don't give up ever, no matter the score, and that's what you need out of a team when it comes to sectional time. Connor Lehman in goal is going to be our strength by far. He leads the state currently in saves, 13th in the nation, sitting at 218 on the year. Some of those saves is one that you don't expect to see, and all of a sudden he's out of nowhere. He's our strength. Weakness, we need a step. Our defense as a team, not just my defenders, but all 11, sometimes hesitate to step. Marion's going to completely eat us alive if we do that. So for that reason, we have pressed to them. They know to think about it all night. We have to step to that ball, and we have to step fast if we want a chance.
Coach, thank you for your time, and best of luck against Marion tomorrow.
Thank you.
Head coach Brandon Forshee from the Mississinewa boys soccer team. Well, welcome to tonight's Mississinewa volleyball contest between the visiting Pendleton Heights Arabians. Tonight is pink out night here, and we are ready to go. So let's see what the Lady Indians have in store. The varsity contest: Kinsey Skeens, Hallie Plank, Madison Stanley, Erica Foy, Kirsten Lockwood, and Mallory Sands, all starters. Number 9, Emily Taylor, is the libero. Mallory Sands is going to serve the ball for the Lady Indians. So a point early here from the Lady Arabians. That's going to be fun to say all night. Lady Arabians. Ace over the net by number 6. Three to nothing, Lady Arabians with the early lead here in the first set. Jordan Benefiel is back to serve. Ball over the net. And another ace, 4-0. I talked to Hallie Plank earlier today, and she said Pendleton Heights was a pretty good team. And so this is a good preparation for sectionals. Here's a dig, and a set by Skeens, and a tip over the net by Plank.
Here we are, Kinsey Skeens up to serve. Saved by Emily Taylor and a hit over the net by Erica Foy. Good pass by Mallory Sands, set to Hallie. Hallie hit it. Is that a touch? Nope, they did not call it a touch, so it's the Pendleton Heights ball. Hallie Plank up to serve. Misses it. Hallie Plank is really good at volleyball. She is definitely going to go somewhere, college to play. Lady Indians are struggling in the first set with their serves. They're not making very many over.
8-3, Lady Arabians with the lead. And the Lady Indians capitalize and get a point here, 8-4.
Madison Stanley checks in the lineup for the Lady Indians. She's up to serve. She's a very strong server for the Lady Indians, so we're hoping that she'll give us some points out of this.
She kind of falls forward on those serves and makes it look like she's going to fall over, but that's how she does it, and it looks good. Spiked by Walker, and out of bounds. I'm sure you've had a few of those a time or two while you played volleyball.
Yep, that definitely happened a few times.
Yep, just something that happens when you play the game. Lockwood with a spike. She's been a big attribute to the Lady Indians volleyball team here in 2017, and Plank is going to check in her new place, Lockwood. 9-5. Lady Indians trail by 4. Here's Emily Taylor with an ace. And it's 9-6.
Emily Taylor is a great back row player. I remember in middle school she used to be our outside hitter, and she hated it. She really wanted to play back row.
It was number 3, Brinkley Gary, with a hard spike. And a good save by Stanley. Foy with a save, and Taylor Walker's going to tip it over the net, and it goes into the students section, and that is another Lady Indians point, 9-7. Decent crowd on hand here tonight. Got the Beth Lucas in the house from the girls' soccer team sitting across the way.
Madison Stanley laid out on the floor. Point to Pendleton Heights. Good pass by Erica Foy. Out to Hallie Plank. They recover it. Tip over the net to Madison Stanley. Hallie Plank with the hit again and a point.
– 11-9. Lady Arabians lead by 2 and a serve by Kinsey Skeens over the net. Here's a spike by Criswell and a spike by Foy and a point Lady Indians. 11-10. Foy gets up in the air and hits the ball like she's hitting a softball, like she's trying to hit it out of the park. She just reared back and blasted it. And here's a serve by Skeens. Sands, a set by Skeens, and a spike by Plank. Goes out of bounds.
Good block by number 8, Avery Landman. She plays for the Mississinewa Volleyball Club. I've seen her play a few times. She is a very good volleyball player, very strong. She's definitely going to be some good competition in tonight's game.
Point Mississinewa. (12-12). Plank to serve and a high rainbow serve over the net. And a spike by Michelle Merriman and a point to the Lady Arabians. Emily Taylor returns to the lineup for the Lady Indians. She is the libero. Good luck to the Mississinewa Lady Indians soccer team. As we said, the Beth Lucas sits across the way with her teammate Taylor Ulrich. The Lady Indians will begin sectional play this week as they take on Mechaniqua. So good luck to the Lady Indians soccer team. 14-13. The Lady Arabians lead. And Taylor Walker returns to the lineup for Mississinewa. And Erica Foy is back to serve. Here's a spike and a block. Foy gets it over the net. Good communication there from the Lady Indians. Taylor lays it all out on the floor. Walker to spike. The Lady Arabians are playing good here in the opening set. Skeens with a set and a spike by Lockwood out of bounds. 15-13, the Lady Arabians with a 2-point lead. Here's a serve. Taylor on the ground. Good save by Skeens when it goes out of bounds. And 16-13. Pendleton Heights is a great volleyball team. As I said, Hallie Plank said that if the Lady Indians can compete with Pendleton Heights, they're in good shape come sectional time. Good save there by Walker, and Taylor gets it over the net. Emily Taylor laying it all out on the floor tonight. She's playing really good here in the first set. And a block by Walker, but it's too far into the net for the Lady Indians to save it. 17-13. Here's a set from Skeens and a spike from Walker. Point for the Lady Indians, and Madison Stanley is going to replace Allison Swift in the lineup. Stanley's going to go back to serve. Again, a reminder, Mississinewa Indians football is back on the Tribe Sports Network on Friday as they host Frankton for senior night. Be sure and tune in with a pregame 6:30 and a ball game to start right around 7. Lockwood tried to tip it over the net. The ball was blocked by number 10, Gracie King, and that didn't work. 18-14. Emily Taylor goes back to serve for the Lady Indians. Volleyball goes at a much slower pace than basketball. I'm so used to calling basketball that it's kind of a challenge for me to do volleyball here tonight, but an ace from Emily Taylor cuts the Lady Arabian lead down to 2. 18-16. Here's a serve from Taylor. A spike from King, blocked by Plank and Walker, and another Lady Indian point. Taylor, Walker, and Hallie Plank both play Mississinewa volleyball, I believe. I think I saw Plank where she traveled to maybe Florida it was this summer to play in a volleyball tournament down there. Plank up to block. Emily Taylor lays out on the floor to save it, and a spike from Walker. Good communication, a lot better communication here in the varsity game than what we saw in the JV game. Mallory Sands returns to the lineup for the Lady Indians, 19-18. Sands serves over the net. Stanley lays out on the floor, gets a dig. Here's Floyd with a tip over the net. Here's a set from Skeens and a spike from Foy. It was blocked. Looks like the ball may have been hit twice from King. Taylor, set from Skeens, and a spike from Plank and a point. 19-19. Tie ball game here in the first set. At the end of tonight's contest, we'd like to get head coach Hope Coons up here, along with a few of the Lady Indians players, get a little bit of a preview for sectionals coming up here in a couple of weeks. 2019, the graduation year of the Andrea Abbott, and the score of right now here in the first set. (2020). The graduation year of the sophomore class, in the score in the first set. Kenzie Skeens back to serve. Skeens with a serve, kind of a knuckleball. And a point to the Lady Indians, 21-20. Skeens, another serve. This one had a little bit of a spin to it. Set from Skeens, and a spike from Foy. Boy, oh boy. Looked like it was danger zone there for the Lady Arabians. Here's a set from Skeens. She does a very good job setting it. And a tip from Foy, and another point for the Lady Indians. 22-20. Timeout, Lady Arabians, 22-20. Lady Indians with a lead here in the opening set. We're back in 30 seconds on the Tribe Sports Network.
Kinsey Skeens with the let serve. Looks like she's about to close out the end of the first set.
24-20. Here's a tip over the net, saved by Foy, but it's into the net.
They called it a carry.
See, that's why. Good thing I got an injury up here because she keeps me honest. And when it comes to scenarios like that, and you got a guy that doesn't know anything about volleyball up here, and a girl that played volleyball for quite some time. So, good thing she's up here to keep me honest. There's a spike, and it's out.
Ooh.
The ball looked like it may have been in, but it was called out. And at the end of the first set, Lady Indians win 25-21. We'll step aside for 2 minutes and come back for the second set. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Back at Mississinewa High School, junior Beth Lucas joins me from the Mississinewa girls soccer team. Beth, you guys play Mechanical Thursday for sectionals. What's the game plan headed into Thursday?
To win, so that way we can play Saturday, because this will be the first time girls soccer team would be able to make it to second time sectional.
What's it been like transferring from Oregon to Indiana to play soccer?
Different. The setup is different, so I had to kind of learn new chemistry with a new team, but it's been good. I like them.
What do you think about Mississinewa High School? I'm sure it's a lot different than the school you went to in Oregon.
Yeah, it's a lot different. It's more strict, but I like it for the most part.
Well, Beth, thank you for your time, and best of luck Thursday.
Okay.
4-3. 4-4 now. Tie ball game. Special shout out to Beth Lucas. Thank her. A special thank you to her for taking the time to come up here and chat a little bit about girls soccer. They play McConaughey on Thursday, so be sure and make the trip if you're not doing anything on Thursday to go and support head coach Andrea Wilson and the Mississinewa girls soccer team.
Hallie playing back to serve. Look at her. 6 foot, playing back row. Gotta love her.
5-5, tie ball game.
Number 7, Gracie Criswell missed her serve. Lady Indians ball. Erica Foy up to serve for the Lady Indians. Good save by number 5, Erica Foy. And that's out of bounds. Now it's Pendleton Heights ball. Great communication there by the Lady Indians. Score is 6-9, Pendleton Heights. Timeout, Mississinewa. We'll be back in 50 seconds with the TribeTV Sports Network. Here we are back 50 seconds later with the TribeTV Sports Network. Number 5, Michelle Merriman is up to serve. Good pass by Emily Taylor. Roll over the net by Erica Foy. It is out of bounds. Madison Stanley up to serve for the Lady Indians. Good hit by number 3, Brinkley Gary. Score is now 12-7, Pendleton Heights. It's 14-7 Lady Arabians. Now back to Dalton.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And now it's 15-7. They made you look bad there. Lady Arabians with a 15-7 lead after the Lady Indians won the first set. So maybe this will be like the JV contest where the Lady Arabians win the second set and the Lady Indians come back and win the third. Here's Walker with a tip over the net. And not a single Lady Arabian player was in the middle of them. There was 4 standing around in a circle, and the ball fell right in the center.
Struggling with communication here in the second set.
Something that the JV Lady Indians struggled with in the JV contest. 15-8. Lady Indians trail. Good old nice fine baked cookies here tonight. It is Pink Out Night, so they're raising all kinds of money for cancer. And one of those is selling cookies. And I'll tell you what, there's some fine baked cookies down there.
Fantastic baked cookies down there, Dalton.
Thank you so much.
Mallory Sands checks in the lineup for the Lady Indians. She's back to serve.
Just a few updates from around the MLB from Sunday night, the final night of the regular season in Major League Baseball. The Diamondbacks defeated the Royals 14-2. The Milwaukee Brewers all over the St. Louis Cardinals 6-1. The Cincinnati Reds beat your defending World Series champion Chicago Cubs 3-1. The Mariners over the Angels 6-4. The Dodgers over the Rockies 5-3. White Sox over the Indians 2-1. The Phillies jumped all over the Mets 11-0. Pirates beat the Nationals 11-8. Blue Jays beat the Yankees 2-1. The A's beat the Rangers 5-2. Astros beat the Red Sox 4-3. And the Orioles fall to the Rays 6-0. It's 16-12 here in the second set. The Lady Indians now trail by 5 because the Lady Arabians just scored, so it's 17-12. The wild card game is tonight. The Twins, the Minnesota Twins, take on the New York Yankees. That is scheduled to start in just about 10 minutes. So if you're a Yankee fan, be sure and tune in and watch the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. Scheduled to start in about 10 minutes.
Lady Indians are still having some communication problems. Number 2 with the roll over the net. Erica Foy with the tip. And point Lady Indians.
Looked like they tried to take down the ref down there. Ball bounced off his head, and it's 18-13. Our thoughts and prayers from all the TribeTV crew go out to the victims involved in the shooting out in Las Vegas. So our thoughts and prayers are with them, and we hope that they get to a quick and speedy recovery and that they're able to get over the tragedy out there. So thoughts and prayers to the victims of the Las Vegas shooting. Point Lady Indians, 18 to, I believe it's going to be 15. It is 18-15. Trying to get you some NFL scores from this past Sunday and last night's Monday Night Football. Point Lady Indians 18-16 now. And Kinsey Skeen's going to go back to serve and a timeout from the Lady Arabians. We're back in 60 seconds on the Tribe Sports Network. Back at Mississinewa High School, reporting live from Freeburg Courts in Gas City. Mississinewa leads, or trails by 2 to the Pendelton Heights Lady Arabians. Some NFL scores from Sunday night football, or Thursday night football. The Rams beat the 49ers 41-39. From Sunday, the Jaguars jumped all over the Ravens 44-7. The Bills beat the Broncos 26-16. The Chicago Bears beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in overtime. This was from 2 weeks ago. I'm looking at the wrong dates here. So Thursday night football was the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. The Packers beat the Bears 35-14. Saints beat the Dolphins in the game in London 20-0. The Panthers kick a field goal and beat the New England Patriots 33-30. The Jets beat the Jaguars 23-20. Texans dominate the Titans 57-14. Steelers beat the Ravens 26-9. Bengals beat the Browns 31-7. Lions beat the Vikings 14-7. Rams beat the Cowboys 35-30. Sunday night football, the Colts got destroyed by the Seattle Seahawks 46-18. And last night on Monday Night Football, the Chiefs beat the Redskins 29-20.
Hallie Plank. Oh, man. Hallie Plank really bringing the heat tonight in this game. Great block by Allison Swift and Kirsten Lockwood. Hallie Plank back to serve again. Mr. Serve, Emily Taylor going back in for Hallie Plank in the back row.
So we're back at Mississinewa High School, getting ready to get the final points for the Lady Arabians. It's 24-21. Tip over the net. Stanley's going to save it, and Walker's going to spike it into the net, and the Lady Arabians win the the second set, 25-21. Boys soccer will play Marion tomorrow for sectionals. That game is at Oak Hill at 6 o'clock, and the girls' soccer team plays Thursday against McConaughey. That is also a 6 o'clock game. Over to football, the Mississinewa Indians drew Frankfort for sectionals. If the Indians were to win that game, they have a chance to play the Marion Giants, and Marion plays Delta in round number 1 of sectionals. If Marion is to get by Delta and Mississinewa is to get by Frankfort, the duo of Justin Johnson and J.K. Thomas from Marion will make their appearance in Gas City at Fisher Field, and those two lead the Giants offense and defense. If you keep an eye on J.K. Thomas, he is the one to stop against Marion. So keep an eye on the duo of Justin Johnson and J.K. Thomas, as they are a handful to stop, as they will come into Gas City if they are able to get by Delta. Back at Mississinewa High School, and just a few things to touch on that Marion football team. They defeated Muncie Central this past Friday, 36-6, led by Marion's own, the J.K. Thomas. He scored 2 touchdowns in that game. He rushed for 151 yards. One of those touchdowns, he leaped in from about 2 yards into the end zone, and what was a spectacular play for J.K. Thomas. So again, when Marion and Mississinewa, if they were to meet up in round 2 here at Mississinewa, be sure and keep an eye on J.K. Thomas. The Lady Arabians lead early here in set number 3, 2-1. Next time out, we'll talk a little bit about the Mississinewa football team and what they did this past weekend and some of the guys to keep an eye on for them. A spike by Palenque was saved by the Lady Arabians, and a point Mississinewa 2-2. Kenzie Skeen's going to go back to serve. Allison Swift checks into the lineup, replacing Madison Stanley. Serve from Skeens. And a block from Palenque and Foy. And the ball is in, and a point for the Lady Arabians, 3-2. (5-3). Lady Arabians lead here in set number 3. Looking across the way, you got some of the Indian football players in the form of Jay Jones and Heisman Skeens. We'll talk a little bit about those guys. When the next time out we get, we'll be able to talk a little bit about Indian football and about those two guys and the key elements to the Indians football team. It is 6-3, Lady Arabians with the lead. Coach Coons trying to stay positive and let her team know that they're not down and out of it. Also, look over there, you see Hunter Smalley. Hunter Smalley in the house. Point, Mississinewa. Erica Foy's going to go back to serve, and it's a 6-4 Lady Arabian lead with Taylor Walker checking into the lineup, replacing Mallory Sands. Serve from the Lady Arabians. That was number 7, Gracie Criswell. 7-4. Here's a tip over the net and another Lady Arabian point. 8-4. Timeout for Mississinewa. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Mississinewa football team. They defeated Oak Hill this past Friday by a score of 60-0, led by Heisman Skeens, Cade Campbell, and Cade McCoy on the offensive end. Defensively, Jay Jones and Cade McCoy led the way. One of the key players on the defensive side of things is Jay Jones as we look forward to sectionals. If Marion was to end up beating Delta and Mississinewa ends up beating Frankfort, and the two teams match in round number 2, Jay Jones is probably going to be the guy who is assigned to J.K. Thomas to stop him. The quarterback position is led by Justin Johnson for the Marion Giants. He's going to be assigned to probably number 51, Dustin Patton, or number 17, Kyler Funk. They will be the ones trying to get in there and put some pressure on him. So a lot of the way things are shaping up and the way the sectional is put together, Marion and Mississinewa favorited to play in round number 2. Here's a spike from Taylor Walker and a point, and it's 9-5. Madison Stanley replaces Allison Swift, and Stanley is going to go back to serve.
Great hit by Kirsten Lockwood, point Indians. It's now 6-9. Madison Stanley back to serve again. We're hoping to get a few aces out of her. There was a rotation issue on Pendelton Heights, so it's point Lady Indians. Great block by number 12, Taylor Walker. Number 5, Michelle Merriman back to serve. Good pass by Madison Stanley. Set Kinsey Skeens out to Taylor Walker. Point Mississinewa Indians.
10-10, the Lady Indians are roaring to life here in Gas City. Emily Taylor's going to serve the ball. Across the net. Spike from number 10, Gracie King, and a point for the Lady Arabians, 11-10.
Lack of communication in that play by the Lady Indians. Hallie Plank and Erica Foy playing a great game in the front row. Another lack of communication in the back row. Back row struggling a little bit.
Coach Kuhn's going to look to Foy and Plank to bring this team back. 13-11.
Kill Hallie Plank. Kinsey Skeens going back to serve. Madison Stanley going out. Allison Swift coming in the front row.
Let's see if Kinsey Skeens can tie this bad boy up.
Good
Foy
tip.
with
Nice.
a block and a tip over the net. 14-13. Lady Indians are within one. What'd you think about that play there, Miss Abbott?
It was great. Fantastic. Lady Indians are communicating a little bit better now. Front row is really doing a great job. It's the back row that's struggling a little bit, but I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out.
And the ball just went out of bounds for the Lady Arabians. We've got ourselves a tie ball game at 14-14. In set number 3. Skeens with a serve. And a tip over the net from number 8. That was Avery Landman. Foy. Taylor gave good effort, but too many hits. They only allowed 3 hits, and the Lady Indians had 4 there, and it's 15-14. (17-14). Lady Arabians are roaring to life here in the third set. Swift. Here's a tip over the net from Foy, and it's in. 17-15. I can't talk. 20-18. Now it's 21-18, Lady Arabians.
Timeout. Mississinewa. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Tribe Sports Network.
(22-18). Just miscommunications from the Lady Indians. They may be able to drop the third set. Here's Foy, and a spike to Lockwood.
Number 10, Gracie King, has been playing a great game tonight. She's probably had about 5 kills. Probably about 5 blocks, too.
She has been the Lady Indian killer. Here's a set from Skeens.
Good save by Emily Taylor.
A point to Mississinewa. It's going to be 24-19. The Lady Indians are going to have to score 6 straight to win this set.
Madison Stanley back to serve. We're hoping she can give us those 6 points real quick.
Stanley back to serve. A line drive.
Back row better be ready for this.
It's
Out of
out.
bounds.
The Lady Indians are within 4. Had a little of a boxing match going on up in the TribeTV booth.
Lady Indians will have to win by 2, so they will have to get to 26.
And a spike by Walker brings them 1 step closer. Here's a spike from Turner, and it's just went under the net. The Lady Arabians win by a final score of 25-21 in set number 3. We're going to step aside for a 2-minute timeout and come back with a 4th set. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Fourth set is underway from Freenberg Courts in Gas City. And a line drive straight into the net gives the Lady Indians a 1-0 lead. 1-0 here in the first set. Mallory Sands back to serve the ball. Two to nothing, Lady Indians. Two to one, with the Lady Arabians trail by 1. Now over to Andrea Abbott for some good facts.
Number 3, Brinkley Gary
Erica Foy just scored a point for the Lady Indians.
was serving, but not now because they lost the point. Good job, Lady Indians.
Erica Foy comes up and saves the Indians again. Here.
Lady Indians are struggling with their serves tonight. And communication. Deep tip by Hallie Plank gives the Lady Indians the point. 4-2 Lady Indians.
Here's Swift into the net. Lady Arabians lead 6-5 in the fourth set. Give the score 8-6, Lady Arabians.
Great save by Erica Foy and Emily Taylor. Great volley by each team, but Lady Indians get the point. It is now 8-9, Pendleton Heights leading by 1. Number 3, Brinkley Gary back to serve again for Pendleton Heights. Emily Taylor with the pass. Kinsey Skeens with the set to Hallie Plank. Hallie Plank hits it down, and that's a kill. Point, Lady Indians. Indians now trailing by 1. Kinsey Skeens back to serve. Hopefully getting this ace.
This is 10,000 to win in the last lap. Going down the back. This gets ran over. First and second. Wyndham was leading when that happened. Watch it how fast he moves.
Great hit by Allison Swift. It is now Lady Indians ball. Hallie Plank going back to serve. Great block by Kirsten Lockwood. Indians are now trailing by 1, 14-13 in the 4th set. Another great block by Kirsten Lockwood and Taylor Walker. Good save by Erica Foy. Gets it over the net. Set it up to Kirsten Lockwood. Kirsten Lockwood hits it. And it is Pendleton Heights ball again. Lady Indians right now are struggling with communication again. This might cost them the game. Number 10, Gracie King put her hands over the net, which is illegal, not allowed to do that. So it's Lady Indians ball. Indians are trailing 14-16 in the fourth set. Great save by Emily Taylor.
Just a quick stat for you here. All 3 sets, the final score has been 25-21. So, if anything, if set 4 is like all the first 3 sets, the final score is going to be 25-21.
Crazy.
Yeah, a little bit. Here's a set from Skeens and a spike from Walker and a point, Mississinewa. Emily Taylor to serve, and she serves. Here's a dig. Walker with a spike, and it's blocked. Point, Pendleton Heights. 18-15. Right now, Pendleton Heights has got a good read on the Lady Indians. Here's Foy with a dig, a set from Skeens, and a spike from Plank. Here's Skeens, gets it over the net. There's a spike from the Lady Arabians, and a point, Mississinewa on a Hallie Plank block. Here's Taylor, gets over the net. It's 18-16. Out of bounds, Lady Arabian with the point, and it's 19-16 here in set number 4. If the Lady Arabians win this set, they will win the match. Here's a dig from Stanley. Plank with a tip over the net. And a point, Mississinewa, Hallie Plank. She's been playing good all night and all season long. Allison Swift returns to the lineup for the Lady Indians. It's 19-17 here in set number 4. Skeens with a shallow serve there. I'm not sure what that call was, but
Hallie Plank was in the net.
Hallie Plank in the net gives the Lady Arabians a 3-point lead at 20-17. Here's a serve from Landman. Here's Skeens. Plank's going to get it over the net. Here's a set and a little tip over the net from Gracie King, and a point to the Lady Arabians. It's 21-17. The Lady Indian fan section just puts their head down and nods their heads. Here's a dig from Sands. Swift with a spike and a block from Gracie King, and they stretch the Lady Arabian lead to 5 at 22-17. Point Lady Indians. Landman stepped over the line while she was serving. And Hallie Plank is back to serve. 22-18 here in set number 4. Here's King. A dig from Sands. And Skeens is going to get it over the net.
Ooh.
It's out, and a point, Mississinewa. So that may or may not have been in. From our point of view, I couldn't really tell, but it benefits the Lady Indians here, and it's 22-19. The Lady Indians only down by 3. Here's a block from Lockwood and a point, Mississinewa, 22-20. The Lady Indians are chipping away at the Lady Arabians. Here's a serve from Plank. Skeens to Swift. Point Lady Indians. The ball was out. The official on the far side called it out. So 22-21. The Lady Indians are only down by 1 with a Hallie Plank serve to come. Here's a serve from Plank. King with a spike, and it somehow falls in for a Lady Arabian point. It's going to be 23-21. The Lady Indians are going to have to stay strong here in the 4th set. Here's a serve, a dig from Taylor, and Skeens. Here's Foy, a point. It's into the net. A tip over from King. Here's a spike from Foy, and it's out. 24-21, down to the final point for the Lady Arabians. The Lady Indians are on the verge of dropping this match. Here's a set from Skeens, and a tip over from Lockwood. King gets it over the net, and that's the final. Again, the final score, 25-21. Check this out, folks. We had 4 sets. Mississinewa wins the first one, 25-21. The next 3 sets are won by Pendleton Heights, 25-21, 25-21, and 25-21. We will step aside for 1 minute and come back and wrap this up from Gas City. This is Lady Indians Volleyball on the Tribe Sports Network. Back at Mississinewa High School, final score tonight. The Pendleton Heights Lady Arabians come up with the victory in 4 sets, defeating the Lady Indians again, 25-21, 25-21, and 25-21. All 4 sets, the final was 25-21 for Dalton Bishop and the rest of the TribeTV crew. So long from Gas City, and we'll see you Friday, and Mississinewa takes on Frankton for football.